Hey, this is Spencer Sutton with Evernest, and today I want to answer a question that we get all of the time. And it's a great question. And that question is, how long will it take you to rent my property? And that's really important because an empty property, an empty house, an empty condo doesn't really get you any income, right? And so we want to make sure that we're answering this question to the best of our ability. I'm going to give you three main points that we look at, and we'll walk through each one of those. So the first one is price. Second one is product. And the third one is seasonality. So price is really important. And so we want to make sure that we are pricing it within a fair market value. And the way that we determine that is we pull comps. We have a program called Rent Range, and we can share that report with you. You can request one of those reports. We'll give it to you for free on our website. But we want to pull comparables around within a specific distance from your property. We want to pull similar type houses, so we want to make sure that the year built are fairly similar. We want to make sure square footage is close. We want to make sure bedrooms and bathrooms match. So we're looking at that report. We're also looking at Zillow to make sure those houses kind of match up, and then we can come back to you with a price that we believe will help you rent your house quickly. Now, if we come back to you with a price, let's just say we came back and said, we think your property should rent for $1,800 a month. And you said, well, I really wanted $1,900 a month. Well, that's fine. I mean, it is your home. And so we're happy to start the leasing process, start the marketing process at that rate. But we just want you to keep in mind that we think like the fair market value is $1,800 a month. And so we just need to keep that in mind, and we would just need to watch the activity. If we're getting a lot of views, so a lot of views on your property, but we're not getting any appointments to go in and visit the property, then it might mean that the price is a little high. Residents can tell this, like if they're looking at several different properties in the area, they know what's too expensive and what is just right. So we want to make sure price is correct. Next thing is the product. We want to make sure that your product is in the best shape to find a great resident. So good residents who are going to pay every single month and who are going to stay in your property and think of it as their home, treat it like their home. They are going to want a good home. And so that's one of the first things that we do when you sign a management agreement with us is we walk through that entire property and come back to you with a report. And we say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Owner, this is exactly what needs to happen to have your house rent ready. Here are maybe some suggestions. You might want to change this bedroom color from a hot pink maybe to a more neutral color, things like that. But we want to make sure that the product is in the best shape possible. And then we're also looking at things like what we call white elephants. Do you have any white elephants? So is your home or your property on a very busy street? Is it right next to train tracks? Or, so we're going to take all of these things into consideration. Does it have a very unique and strange layout? So we're going to look at all of those things, and we'll take that into consideration when we're also looking at the price of the property. So price and product are very important. And then I want to just say seasonality. There's nothing you can really do about this. We all know that summer is the best time to sell houses. It's also the best time to rent or lease properties. And so we would say summer is going to be your best time, but we rent houses, we lease houses year round. But it's just something to keep in mind that when you come into the holiday months, especially between, I would say, Thanksgiving and New Year's, things slow down a good bit. So just have that in mind as you start thinking about how quickly can my house rent. So those are the three main things we want to look at. We want to look at the price, make sure it's correct, market rate. We want to look at the product, make sure your house at least is up to standard, looks good, is clean, and ready for move-in. And then third, we want to just pay attention to the seasonality. Not that you can't rent your home in November or December. You most definitely can, but it will probably affect the traffic and the activity that we see on the house. So those are the three things, and I hope you I hope that answered your question. If you have any more questions, reach out to us. Like, we have experts in your city ready to answer your questions, and we'd love to talk to you and help you make a decision one way or the other.